Happy 2025, my friends. As we are rolling into the new year, I'm doing some reflecting. I hope that you had a chance to listen to the last two episodes. They were really good. They were some downloads from my trip to Phoenix, some good takeaways. If you have not gotten wind yet of my mastermind that is launching this year, make sure you head over to elizabethhenson.co/bigpurpose and make sure that you go listen to the last episode, which I believe is episode 172. Confirmed, 172. So that is a really good one. It tells you a lot more about the context of the mastermind and how it came to be. And today, part 2, we're going to be talking about the 4 ingredients to know that you are a right fit for the mastermind. So the way I'm going to do that is by telling this story of my greatest mistake of the last 2 years and how it helped me become the person that I need to be to host such mastermind. So make sure in this episode you listen till the end and see if you fit the 4 check boxes for the mastermind. So today's episode, I'm sure, is getting a lot of clicks because of the juicy title, The Biggest Mistake of 2024. Oh, that sounds so dramatic. And I mean, it kind of is, but I'm not really beating myself up. I don't tend to stay in that place. And the underlying theme of this episode is to always, always, always take the lessons. And when we get excited about the lessons, then they become just as wonderful as the result. And it's such a great place to be in mentally and emotionally when you can approach your business in that way. So it's very important that we focus on that and not dwell on the mistake. But I'm going to also have to share the mistake in order to share the lesson. So let's dive in. Welcome back to the Messy Success Podcast. I'm your host, Elizabeth Henson. I help creative business owners and artists build communities around your brand so that business is easy and profitable. When you stay in action, yes, I mean even messy action, only good things happen. We are always learning, and when we can get just as excited about the lessons as the results, magic happens. I've helped million-dollar companies with their marketing, but my mission in this world is to help you step into the best possible version of yourself so you can create your dream business too. We believe in community and people over strategies and tactics. Our theme here at the Messy Success Podcast is the 1% adventure, where we're focusing on getting 1% better every single day. I want you to color outside the lines and embrace the messy journey to take daily action towards your goals. If you've noticed a plateau in your business, we've created a very quick quiz where you can find out your next best move. Head over to elizabethhenson.co/next to find out. Now let's get started. All right, I feel like my palms are sweaty. My body is having a lot of resistance to even claiming all of this as a mistake, because that's how in my power and convinced I am that this is a lesson that I was meant to learn. I have zero regrets because, again, I am really in this space of there really are no mistakes, there are no problems. It's just the way that we perceive the problems. And this all makes so much sense because it actually stems back to 2023, before Elevate was even a thing. So Elevate first came to be in the fall of 2023. And this project started summer of 2023. And I was still doing a lot of consulting work. I was still kind of finding my way as far as what my coaching business was going to look like. I was doing way more marketing, consulting, and doing than I was business coaching. And that was also around the time that I got re-immersed as a coach with James. So many amazing things have happened in my life and exponential growth. We're talking quantum leap shit, y'all, in 2024. So this decision, this investment was made in 2023 before any of that came to fruition. So the version of me now looking back can be like, oh, okay, I was just really floundering and trying to figure things out. And I wasn't struggling because I was doing this consulting and I was making ends meet. My business was making money and I was happy, but gosh, not even a fraction of as happy as I am now. And COVID was challenging on a personal level. And I feel like, 2023, we're all kind of like getting back into the swing of things. But anyway, this is the big mistake is in the course, the program that I invested in to publish my planner. And I love my planner. And you guys can go buy one at elizabethhenson.co/planner. And there's so many logical things here that are at play because I have succeeded in all what I set out to do with my planner to an extent. Where I've dropped the ball is kind of like marketing it. But here's the thing. I'm such an experienced business owner at this point that I am very aware of the energy and time that has to be put into marketing a $20 product and the amount of money that will make me, because I understand my numbers and I understand the backbone of my business and I understand how it all works, right? And so the time that it takes to successfully market a low ticket offer is frankly not worth my time right now, because my students and my community members who are in a higher ticket realm, that requires my energy, right? And I actually prefer to put my energy there. So the mistake was in 2023, I was not trusting my intuition and I was still making a lot of impulsive decisions. We'll call them impulsive and excited decisions. And I invested in this program to help me learn how to sell my planner on Amazon. And the program did what it was supposed to do up to a point. But the big promise of the program that I kind of fell for, right? That was the love story for me, the romance, the wooing me, the taking me out to dinner, was that this program would help you get your product to rank on Amazon organically and teach you how to get on the first page. That was the big sell, right? The big pitch of this program that made my logical brain understand how it works, is that it teaches you how to get your product on the first page. And it makes so much sense. And it seems so doable when you're in the moment. But what they were not completely transparent about is how much it's all going to cost and how long it's going to take. And the ROI projections were not super accurate with like the shipping costs. I mean, it cost me $1,000 just to get my planners shipped here. And the course itself, the program itself, was very expensive. And at the end of the day, I've said this on the podcast before, all I have to do is sell the planners and I'll make a really great profit. If I sell my planners, I'll make like $24K. And I spent, I don't know, 10 to 12K on this whole project, we'll say. Like, can't believe I'm even dropping those numbers out loud. So I went through the program to a T, through the creation, the sourcing. We made these beautiful upgrades to the planner. I wanted to do it this way because it's really difficult to get spiral bound planners. And we got it on Amazon, but what we didn't do is ship it to Amazon, because then you've got to pay the storage fees. And what really happened was, I hit a cap on how much I was willing to spend. So, they tell you to have seed money. And to me, I was like, $10,000 is plenty of seed money, especially knowing that my planners are only going to cost a couple dollars to make. And they're already created. I don't have to pay a designer. I already pay Ilya. She's on my team, but it's not going to cost me any extra. So I was just like, $10,000 should be absolutely plenty of seed money. And of course, they tell you all these stories about people that, only spend a few $1,000s, or you only need a few thousand to get started. So that in my mind was the threshold of what I was willing to spend. And then once I kind of hit that number, and I was like, I don't want to take any more risk on this project. And my husband kind of convinced me to have the planners sent here to the house rather than paying Amazon to store them. So I never fully actually got to experience whether I could get my planner to rank on the first page, because I had hit my threshold of money and risk, essentially, is what happened. I decided I was kind of done playing with fire, and that was enough. And I could sell the planners, from my home to my own audience, whether it be on Amazon, now that I'm not paying all those monthly fees anymore, or just bringing them to speaking events and giving them away as gifts can raise the ceiling that I can charge for speaking events. There's so many cool ways that I'm going to be able to leverage the fact that I have these planners. But I didn't follow through with the trying to rank on the first page of Amazon, because I hit that threshold of investment and risk. I hit the cap of what I was comfortable with. And it's frustrating. And what it makes it feel like a mistake is that I kind of stopped the project, right? Like, I stopped the project because I hit that threshold. And in the program, they would just want me to power through and pay to send my stuff to Amazon and just continue to pay and continue to pay. And I just wasn't willing to do that. So I'm taking so much self-accountability, while yes, I'm frustrated with the investment that I made, and I feel like it could have been way more transparent, and I could have been better prepared up front for this to be the outcome. Yes, I'm frustrated with all those things, but I just didn't want to spend my energy on it, right? I'm not spending my energy on my frustrations. I'm spending my energy on solutions. And, I have these moments. I'm a human being where I'm like, oh gosh, Liz, you got sucked into that. But here's the beautiful part. A year and a half later, a year and a half after this investing, a year and a half of quantum growth, is that I needed that lesson, because this isn't the first time that it's happened. It's kind of the most expensive time that it's happened, right? But the planner itself is a product of this creative energy that I have. And when I kind of take breaks, I get these explosions of creative energy, and I don't really know where to channel, or I didn't at the time, where to channel it and what to do with it. And that ends up in a lot of kind of out of left field projects, or things I want to learn and things I want to do. And James does such a good job of teaching us that you don't have to monetize everything, right? And I can continue to design and create products and sell them on Amazon with the print on demand features. It's called KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing, and I have my sticker book on there. I can continue to create in that way and not have that overhead risk and investing of having to source and order things in bulk. I was so committed to sourcing these planners and buying them in bulk to raise the profit margin. But it really didn't raise the profit margin as much as I wanted it to now that I have them all here, when before it was costing me about $7 or $8 to make them on demand. It wasn't as good a quality. The paper wasn't as nice. The spiraling wasn't as nice, but I could have them printed on demand, and sell them for, I think I was selling them for $29. Whereas now I got the price down to $5 with beautiful packaging. So I still have a really good, healthy profit margin. But if I were to put it on Amazon and pay all the storage fees and pay the Amazon fee, I would lose a big chunk of that profit. So I just said, all right, well, I've got the planners. I'll figure out how to sell them in other ways. And I will make the money back. It's just going to take a little bit longer. And I don't have this romantic Amazon business that runs itself. Right? Lesson learned. Okay. But anyway, what is so important about this lesson in all of it has nothing to do with the planners, because I'm actually very proud and excited about the planners. Of course, with it comes the lesson. But this lesson of getting distracted or derailed is really the biggest lesson. And ever since I've been through this experience, I've gotten really good at saying no, at not getting derailed or sidetracked by opportunities, by projects. Now that I have really settled in to Elevate, to hosting my event every year, there's so much creativity in this business model that I'm running now that started basically January of 2024 or even fall of 2023 when I got my first 2 Elevate students. And then by the time we hosted our event in April, we had 4, and now we have 17. And this is my business model now. This is my baby, and it's all mine. I'm not like the CMO for someone else's company anymore. It's all mine. It's all my business. And I just spent so much time under the hood of other businesses, and I was learning a ton, and I had to do all these things to become the version of myself that my students needed for Elevate to even happen. So it's all happening on purpose. That's, the moral of this episode is that I could sit in a corner and beat myself up over that investment and feel bad about it and look at the planners with resentment. Those things are how most human beings behave. But I am not most human beings, right? Like, I have mastered this ability to seek the lessons and choose that as my truth. That now I have this superpower and not getting distracted, because that was the final time. That was the boulder, right? James always teaches us that you're going to get these lessons and they're going to hit you like pebbles. And if you don't pay attention, it's going to be a freaking boulder. And that project was my boulder. So it was like lesson learned, done. Yes, we have big dreams for the Messy Success brand, right? And the planners and the sticker book and the stickers and e-commerce is very much a dream that I have for that brand. But I also know with 100% certainty that is going to come in time with building a team. And that is like phase 2 of what I'm building and what I'm growing. And it doesn't deserve my energy at this moment. And we can continue to grow it in the background. And it will continue to kind of be part of the branding around this podcast. I love the name, the Messy Success Podcast. I always have. And I think it's such an incredible name that we can use in so many different ways. And I'm really excited about that timeline, that future. But I can just make my decisions from a totally different place than when I'd made those decisions in 2023. Of like, I was still in this mode of someone else has the answers. Someone else can teach me what I need to know. And the big shift is in trusting myself. That was before I took an entire course on how to leverage my intuition in my business. I wasn't trusting my own knowledge, my own capabilities. And now I have this really powerful tool, this really powerful business advisor in my own intuition that I can hear it now. I couldn't hear it then. All I could hear was these people giving me these big shiny promises so that I would buy their program, right? And I can see right through that now because I can sense people's intentions and purposes in a way that I couldn't then. And that is like worth every penny of every dollar that I've spent in 2023 and 2024 to be able to learn that lesson and not seeking anymore, right? I'm not seeking the next big thing or the answers to all my problems. Like I have everything I need and all my needs are met. And feeling that truth, that 10 out of 10 certainty, not just in my mind, my heart, but in my body, that I have everything I need. And anything else that I gain is just icing on the cake to already having all my needs met. And I'm not seeking anymore. I'm not searching for the next magic wand, which is the kind of the headspace that I was in when I made that decision to buy that Amazon course. So that's the raw and the real, you guys. That is the, what do they call it? Uncut, unscripted, I don't know, unfiltered. Yeah, there's a lot of resistance, right? I'm feeling a lot of resistance and even sharing it like as a flop or as a mistake because so many beautiful things have come out of it. My planner being one of them. And obviously the lessons are so freaking awesome. And I wouldn't trade the experience for the lessons that it gave me. And when you can sit in that place with your own mistakes or your own problems, when you say, hey, that kind of sucked. And, you know, that wasn't the greatest thing I've ever done. However, what I gained from learning is worth more than had I gotten the result, right? Because if I just sold those planners and they made me a quick couple $1,000s, you know, and everything was easy, I wouldn't have learned the things that I learned. And I would still be easily distracted and I would probably still end up making that mistake at some point. So I just got the mistake and the lesson over with. And now I'm in this place of knowing I don't need that. I don't need those things. I don't need to be sold to by anyone. I can choose what I need, right? Because of course that all came to me through an ad and I went down rabbit hole after rabbit hole after rabbit hole. So I'm just not receiving in that way anymore. So I hope that was helpful. And I would love for you guys to share with me if you've had a similar experience or a similar, you know, mistake / problem that ended up teaching you a really beautiful lesson or multiple lessons. I feel like I got multiple lessons from that experience. And again, you can always go purchase the planner at elizabethhinson.co/planner. We would love to send you one. And I do have a speaking engagement coming up in February where I think that I will be bringing them to. We have lots of opportunities to leverage them for more, to open more doors and help more people. So let's circle this back and tie it back in to the Bigger Purpose Mastermind, because this is part 2. You guys already listened to part 1 about how this mastermind came to be. And this is part 2. And I did this for a reason, because if you identified with this episode in a way that you felt like you were kind of identifying with me, as in this is something you've experienced, this is how you view your lessons, you're no longer searching for a magic wand, you're feeling established in your business, in your revenue, and you're really operating from that 10 out of 10 certainty that your needs are met. Okay? If you are receiving that and you are kind of nodding your head like, yes, she gets it. All my needs are met. I have everything I need. Whatever I accomplish on this world is just icing on the cake, then you are possibly a really great fit for the mastermind. Now, if you listen to this episode and you're learning from a place of, oh gosh, I am still seeking answers. I am still trying to believe that all my needs are met. I am still like not happy with where I am. Then Elevate is right for you. Okay. Elevate is my signature group coaching program. It is my heart. It is like what I work on the majority of the time in my business. And that is where I'm teaching you how to operate from a 10 out of 10 certainty in your business, how to break down these lessons and turn them into wins, and how to really view your business in a different way. That's what Elevate is all about. And if you are already in that place, if you're already in a 10 out of 10, you are happy and fulfilled and you have what you need, but now you want to make a bigger impact on the world. You have self-accountability, which we talked about in this episode. You have this innate ability to turn lessons into something good, or you view a lesson as equally as great as a result. And you're no longer distracted by all the shiny objects. You are ready to leave your mark on the world. And you are ready to start like this next project that could take you 20 years, but it will change everything. And the final piece is that you have really mastered listening to your own intuition. Okay? Let me go over those again, because these are essentially 4 ingredients that will help you know if this mastermind is right for you. Number 1, self-accountability. You're not blaming anyone or anything else for anything ever, right? Like you are self-accountable to the max. Teammate not getting the results you want, you know you haven't sent them the right system, right? Self-accountability. Number 2, you understand that a lesson is just as valuable as a result. So you're celebrating the lessons, you're documenting the lessons. Everything you do, you're like seeking out the learning opportunity. Number 3, you're no longer distracted by what feels like a shiny object or a quick fix. Okay. And number 4, you've really learned how to listen to your own voice and your own intuition. Because these big, massive, world-changing movements and charities like Charity Water are not created by someone who isn't trusting their own intuition, because this stuff doesn't exist. So you have to trust and believe that you have what you need to make it possible. And we're going to curate a room of 6 people, 7 including myself, who have all mastered these skills. Can you imagine what becomes possible when the conversations are so different and not around a quick fix and not around a magic wand and not around money problems and not around blaming or the victim mentality, right? Imagine what becomes possible. So that is how you self-qualify for whether this mastermind is right for you. I want to encourage everyone to apply. If you're like, oh, I'm just not sure, fill out the application, okay? If you have the money to invest and you are ready, we don't ever want anyone to put themselves in a scary financial situation to join our programs. So this is for the established business owner, or you don't have to be a business owner. You can be anybody, as long as you feel comfortable that you can make this $10,000 investment. Okay. That's important because this is not going to be something that is a quick change everything overnight. But what this will do is that in 1 year, you will have started one of the most meaningful projects of your entire life. And you will be well on your way to making that a reality, whatever it is that you're dreaming up. Maybe you want to stop gun violence. Maybe you want to, speak out about politics or anti-politics, or give everyone clean water, right? Or stop violence or discrimination. It can be anything that you could possibly dream up, or it could just be the vision for your business. For me, mine is all about helping people do what they love and make a living doing it and leave a mark on this world, right? So it can be anything, but it is very important that you are ready for these conversations that are self-accountable, that are seeing lessons as wins. You are not distracted by quick fixes or shiny objects, and you trust your intuition at a 10 out of 10. Okay? Those are the qualifications. And that is why I shared this episode with you, so that you could see and hear firsthand the transformation that I've been through in the last 2 years of becoming someone who is looking for the answers, who is seeking that quick fix. Gosh, passive income, right? Like all the shiny objects that everyone else is doing. And I not suddenly, but 2 years later, transformed into someone who has everything I need. All my needs are met. And everything else is icing. This mastermind is icing. It's a dream. It's a vision that I get to hold space for 6 incredible human beings and bring together some of the most driven, intelligent, and people ready to make a positive ripple effect in the world. So if that's like you, make sure you apply. You can go to elizabethhenson.co/bigpurpose. You sign up for our priority list and you will immediately get sent the application. Applications close on January 22nd. So take your time, read through everything. I'm so excited. I could burst and jump through this computer screen. And if you are not ready for that yet, but you're still on fire and feeling really excited about 2025, I want to encourage you to join Elevate. Okay. And that, all you have to do is go take our quiz, elizabethhenson.co/next, and make sure that you sign up for our priority list for Elevate, and you'll get all the details on when the doors open again and how to get into that program as fast as possible. So thank you guys so much for listening to part 2. We have one more really beautiful, juicy episode for you. This month, we are doing a 3-part series. It's almost like 4 parts because my last episode of 2024 was pretty awesome too, where I talked about learning lessons from sitting alone. That was a really good one too. But this 3-part series is really kicking off the Big Purpose Mastermind. It is our theme for January, the bigger purpose, really our theme for the whole year. You guys know, instead of a word, I like to do a theme for the year. So our theme for the year is the bigger purpose. And hopefully I will see your application. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next week for part 3. So buckle up. Let me look at my notes, and part 3 we are going to be talking about the how. How are we going to make this possible? And the gift. So stay tuned. See you next week for part 3.